Evening everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So tonight I'm going to be unboxing and reacting to this, which is the PreSonus AudioBox iOne USB audio interface. Now, I say USB, but this is actually designed to interface directly with an iPad. So I'm going to show you how that's set up. I literally haven't even got out of the box yet, so let's see how that goes. And yeah, just put it through its paces basically. So in the last video that I did, I talked about, audio interfaces for the iPad, which I've got here, by the way. And what I have been using up until now is, for electric guitar anyway, is this. It's a TC Helicon GO TRRS interface, which basically connects directly to the headphone jack of the iPad. And I've always used this. I mean, it was cheap, it was £20, but also there's not much latency on these devices, which is good, so you don't get a delay between what you're playing and what you hear back. But the downside of that is, as you probably saw on the last video, I'll put a link up when this is done. It's very noisy. It picks up a lot of static and interference, and so when you're recording electric guitars through Garageband, through the guitar amp simulators and stuff, it's just very noisy. So anyway, I thought I would give this a go. And why this in particular, the PreSonus AudioBox iOne. I know this isn't necessarily, the best audio interface on the market. The Focusrite Scarlett the Focusrite Scarlett Solo. It has got better quality converters than this. But when I seen how much connectivity that needed, you need a lot of other gear to connect up the Focusrite. You need a USB hub. You need one of those, one of those connectors that goes into the lightning port, because basically the Focusrite is basically a USB audio interface. The good thing about this is you can go direct to the iPad through the lightning connector. So now I was in two minds whether to go down the road of an interface such as this, because historically I've always had a bit of a bad time with devices like this because of latency. So I just wanted to start off really by talking about latency and like what it is. So latency is basically the delay of a sound being generated and somebody hearing it. So for example, the speed of sound, I think, is something like 343 meters per second. Yeah. So in the real world, for a live performance, it's latency is about 3 milliseconds per meter that you're away from the sound source. So say, for example, if you're 10 meters away from a speaker, you'll get a delay of 30 milliseconds, which apparently only about 10 milliseconds is perceivable to the human ear. So apparently this device has got about 11 milliseconds of latency. So with a bit of luck, I won't be able to tell. All I'm saying is, in the past, when I've used devices like this, you play the guitar, the monitored signal comes back just with that slight delay, and it just puts your timing off, and it means that you can't really use the device for recording, which again, going back to the start, which is why I got something like this, because there's less latency. But we're going to see in this video if this is actually manageable and solves the problem with noise that this is a bit of a pain with. So anyway, that's what this video is about. I've got the guitar ready to go. I'm going to plug it all in, set it all up as we go. One take as usual. Let's see how it goes. So first of all, I'm going to get rid of this out of the way. Gone. Right, there we go. So be that. Instructions. Who needs those? Right. So there we are. Quite small unit. Seems like it's got metal casing. Nice. What else we got in here? That's the powered USB cable. I think that's for actually charging it up. Let's see what's in the box. Anything? Nothing. Nothing in the box. Nothing else in the box at all. Surprising. Anyway. Let's get rid of that. So, what have we got? We've got this. There it is. And we've got some instructions. No, we don't need. Then we've got this. That's it. Right. So, let's have a check out what all this is about then. Looks great. It's metal, top, front and bottom. Sides and the back's plastic, but the build quality is really good. I mean, this was £65 off Amazon. You know, delivered same day. You know, the Focusrite Scarlett Solo is about £100. So, you know, it's much less expensive than that for a kickoff. Oh yes, those buttons. Sorry, those knobs. Really nice. Stiff action and graduate as well, so they click around. Feels very, very, very high quality to me. That now, looking at the front panel, it's the big knob. I think is to control the main outs. If you've got monitors, which at the minute for recording, I don't use monitor speakers, even though I have got them. I just use headphones at the minute. But you know, that's definitely useful if you want to connect up monitored speakers, and then you've got your headphones too, separate volumes for each. That's the monitors and that's the headphones. Headphone jack. What I don't like is, and what I do prefer about the Focusrite, I think, is that's got like a combination XLR instrument, 1/4-inch jack. This has got two separate ones. I'm not sure about that, but then again, this one's got you know, two separate gain controls for each. So maybe it is better. You know, you can set up your mic, and then you can set up your guitar separately. So I mean, really, you know, I've only got one use for this. I haven't got use for any of the included software, if there is any. To be honest, I'm not interested, but it does come with a bundle. You know, check out the website. I think it comes with Studio One and Ableton Live Lite and some plugins and stuff that I'm not interested in, because I'm literally going to be using this directly in the Garageband on the iPad. So I'm just using this purely as an audio interface. But anyway, yeah. I'm not sure if that's going to be plus or minus. I like how, to be honest, yes, I like having the two separate connections, and then you can just set once and keep your levels the same. And these, you know, these knobs aren't easily going to get knocked out. That's great. You can just set it and just leave it. What else have we got? 48 volt for your condenser mics, phantom power. And just while we're talking about that, what I've got this for at the minute is just to basically replace my TC Helicon GO. So for the minute, I'm just going to be using the instrument jack, and I'm still going to be using my TRRS mic for vocals and acoustic. But eventually, I'm going to get a proper mic, whether that's going to be a condenser mic or it's going to be a dynamic mic like an SM57 or whatever. I haven't decided yet. What this video is about is checking out the instrument input through Garageband. So what else have we got? Direct. I think that's for direct monitoring. So it looks like there's no mix control on here, which would have been nice. I think what it gives you is a 50-50 mix of the dry signal, so you can have a zero latency monitoring, which I've always thought was a little bit useless for recording electric guitar, because all you'll get back is the dry guitar signal, which is, you know, useless if you're going through, you know, guitar sims. You want to hear back, you know, the sound of the guitar amps through the software. So for a guitar, that's pretty useless. For vocals, it's a little bit better, but again, you're still just getting the dry vocal, and you're not getting, you know, the nice EQ and compression and stuff that the software adds. But we'll see if that's a problem in upcoming videos. So yeah, set the power button there. I think these are clip LEDs on the gain controls, which are useful. Not as good as the Focusrite. They've got like the nice halos which light up in different colours, so it gives you a better idea of where you are. But I suppose all you need really is to know if you're clipping or not. Anyway, that's the side, and go around the back. So what we've got here, we've got the power, which powers the unit, and then you've got the device. So I've got my, I'll just put that down a sec. I've got my connector that came with my iPad, which in theory I'm going to use to directly connect it up. But we'll see about that. And that's it really. You know what I do really like about this is there's no superfluous features on it. You know, there's no MIDI. I wouldn't even use MIDI. You know, there's nothing on here that I wouldn't. There's nothing on here that I wouldn't use. You know, I would use everything on here, and there's nothing there apart from maybe this, which is the biggest, you know, knob on there. I wouldn't use that unless I was using monitors, which I'm not a minute. But you know, a lot of people do, so fair enough. Yeah, so it's just a really solid. It's not too heavy, but the build quality is great. You know, I think it's definitely worth the money. Yeah, first impressions, really good. So what I'm going to do is let's just get it set up on the fly. Yeah? So first of all, I'm going to just get this out, untangle this mess, and I'm going to, let's see how far we get here. Should be an expert in this now, but I'm not. Right, so this gets plugged in, and you just use any old USB adapter to power it up, and it's on, and it's flashing. Great. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to get my iPad and I'm going to turn it on. If it let us. Right, so see how we're going to do this. So I think put that there, like that. If you can see that. Excellent. Oh, I don't want to. Right. Oh, excuse me. Right, so, I don't know if you can see that too well, but anyway, that's it. So, I've got the Focusrite. Sorry, not the Focusrite. I keep saying that. The PreSonus. It's not the PreSonus, Adam. And now what I'm going to do is plug in the device like so. And then take this and plug it in to the lightning cable. Right? Something stopped flashing. It's got power. Right. So far, so good. So now, Let's go into Garageband. Loading a song. Tell you what we'll do. We'll just create a new song for this. Guitar amp. There we go. Right. Audio device connected. Blah, blah, blah. Never seen that before. That's good. Turn on monitoring. Right. So far, so good, ladies and gentlemen. So now what I'm going to do, I've got my guitar here. Plug it into the instrument jack. Set the level at 12 o'clock. Right. I'll just get tangled up in a guitar lead here. Right. So. Right. So nothing's happening at the minute. Don't know why that is. Let's tune the guitar up. And this is a good start, ladies and gentlemen, isn't it? Channel. I think what that is the microphone is channel 1, which is selected, which is why no sound's coming out, and the instrument is channel 2. So I'm going to switch to channel 2. See, no manual, everybody, no manual. Then as if by magic, now the tuner works. So we are getting a signal into the unit, into the iPad, sorry, from the unit. And I must admit, I'm really impressed about how easy that was to actually set up. That was simple, simples. I'm just gonna see if I can just get that in the shot for you a little bit better, so you can see what's going on. Right. Well, we're kind of tuned up. So now then, why nothing happening? Nope, still nothing. Okay. Okay, everyone. So, back in the room. Now, I've had to cut that there because I've just spent about the last 15 minutes working out why there was no sound coming out of the iPad. Basically, the problem is it won't play the sound directly through the iPad using this setup. What you need to do is basically you need to plug in some sort of either headphones direct, or just so I can show you on this video, I've plugged in my little battery powered Laney amp just so you can hear some sound come out. So anyway, yeah, after all that, it's all set up, but what I'm trying to